You think Jesus can do anything right here in Las Vegas, Sin City? I believe that what God is doing is He's creating an eternal testimony. And what we know is when we can come together under a spirit of unity, nothing will be impossible. Hello and welcome to another episode of Las Vegas United. I am your host, Aaron Pino. I'm so glad that you're taking some time out of your schedule to join us, whether you're watching this on Keen 17 or whether you're listening to this on your favorite podcast streaming platform. I want to say thank you so much for being a part of our Las Vegas United community. And you know, here at Las Vegas United, what we are doing is we are partnering together with God to create an eternal testimony of His goodness, mercy, and power right here in the Las Vegas Valley. We bring on church leaders, pastors, entrepreneurs, people who are involved in government. And so we just bring people on who are doing something amazing in our community right here in the Las Vegas Valley. And today is no different. I have some new friends of mine. We're becoming best friends, whether you realize that or not, okay?
For sure, yep.
But my friends Alex and Angie Jimenez, welcome them to the show. Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we're super excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing and honor to be on the show with you.
Well, the blessing and honor is all mine, my friend, you know. Before we start talking about everything that you guys are doing here, your businesses and everything like that, let our audience know a little bit more about yourself. You know, how long you guys been married, how long you been in Vegas, all that great stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my name is Alex. This is my wife, Angie.
Hello.
We've been married for a year and a half.
All right, let's go.
I've been in Vegas my whole life. She moved to Vegas in, 2014?
2014, yeah. I was 14.
All right, that's awesome.
So, yeah, that's kind of our story.
Yeah. We met in high school. We started kind of dating, seeing each other again in 2020, and then we got married in 2021.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
No better time to get married than the present.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yep. That's awesome. I always tell people, too, you need to find the person you want to spend the rest of your life with and get married young.
No, yeah.
That way you can grow together.
Exactly.
Yeah, so good job, y'all. Getting married when y'all got married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, absolutely. I love the fact that you guys are a married couple in business.
Yes.
We want to talk about that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go into that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So tell us what your business are. I know you guys have a couple different brands you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the clothing brand. Tell our audience about that.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and...
I will do the honors, I guess. Our brand is Free From Fear. I created this brand when I was 16, actually.
Wow.
And it really just sat there until Alex and I got married, and there's kind of a story why it sat there for such a long time. It's kind of ironic. I was really fearful of what the enemy was trying to do in my life. I was kind of focusing more on that than what the Lord was calling me to do. And Free From Fear, He actually literally, that is the first time that I actually heard His voice, like Free From Fear. He fully gave me the name. And I would draw sketches and I would do all these things in my room. My mom bought me an iPad so I could like create all this stuff. And I was just very fearful. I didn't know what to do. And so I just let it sit. And Alex and I got married. And I think a couple months into our marriage, she was like, hey, like, what do you want to do? You want to ever show that to the world? Like, I think that's something that the Lord has really called you to do. Like, how do you feel about it? And I was like, no, we're not doing it. I don't want to. Like, I don't know what to do. I felt like whatever I was going to do wasn't going to be good enough or to the standard that I wanted it to be. And so he's very persistent. My husband is a very persistent man. And so eventually, it was never like a pushy thing either. He was always just very encouraging and wanting me to feel comfortable as well. And so eventually I was like, okay, like we can try it out, see what we can do. And so in our house, we bought like a little desk and like a Cricut machine and like sample clothes, and it was really a fun time looking back, like experimenting on these designs, and like we don't know how to work any of the machines. Like we would stay up so late and I'm like, this is not good, like I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
and
stuff
so
would come out like in reverse.
Yeah,
it would be
it was
like
bad.
Yeah, it would be.
But it's so fun. We still have all those like little archive pieces. It's really fun.
We took pictures of everything.
But
you have to.
So we had a little office in our laundry room, and then eventually the Lord blessed us enough to have an office. It was really small, but it was an office. And then a couple months went by, and now we have our office that we have now. and a couple people on our team, like fulfillment and customer service. And so it's grown so much.
Yeah.
It's obviously a Christian, faith-based clothing brand. And so, yeah, that's kind of where we are right now.
That's awesome. Don't let him fool y'all, okay? This clothing brand is blowing up, okay? I'm just telling you right now. This is like a premier Christian clothing brand. I mean, I see friends of mine who are in Chicago, Texas, California.
That's so awesome.
Who are following you guys on social, who are like rocking your gear, you know what I mean? And I think it's awesome. Obviously, we have lots of friends here in Vegas who wear your stuff too.
Best. They're so supportive.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Because it's just cool.
Yeah,
you know, there's no really fancy way to say it.
Yeah.
I just think it's awesome, right?
Thank you.
So you told us a story of like how you guys started the concept of Free From Fear clothing. But we were talking a little bit earlier, right? Like how you didn't just start it one day and then it blew up, right?
No.
Like there was a process to this thing, right?
100%.
So tell me a little bit about your process, that like how we had talked about before.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Angie said, we had bought all the stuff. Obviously, starting off, we knew it wasn't going to be some big, crazy manufacturing plant that we have going on, right? It was in our laundry room. We had a Cricut. We had a heat press. Angie had her iPad. In the beginning, all the designs we had, it was Angie's drawings.
Yeah, from like when I was 16.
Yeah, so like the first, we had like a God-centered collection. She drew that. It was her handwriting. And we were just printing it all on the Cricut and then doing the vinyl. So we were doing everything in-house. We did that for 2 collections. Our second collection, it was called Chosen Generation. It was a flop.
Really?
It was a flop.
It's funny to look back now. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, it was horrible, right? So we didn't get really any sales or anything like that. So I was like, you know what, it's cool. I think we took a break for a while.
Yeah, financially, we were just like, okay, like our first collection, our God-centered collection, we actually did like a pop-up at our church. They allowed us to pop up, and I was so excited because
Shout out to ICLV.
Yes, ICLV. I've been going there since I'm 14 years old.
We love ICLV.
Yeah. So we had talked about like, what if we did like a pop-up somewhere, and my heart was just, I want to do it at ICLV. Like that is where I was that's where I went to church when I created this brand. That's my home church. And so it was really important to me. And so we did our first pop-up there of our first collection. And it was just all of our friends and family like supporting us. It was so special to us.
Yeah.
The orders that we got online, maybe like a total like 10. But we were so grateful. Like we were so like, oh my gosh, like people want to buy this. Like it's so cool.
Yeah.
And so after that, I feel like we were so like, we didn't lose faith in the business or what the Lord had for us. It was just financially we were not in a good place.
Yeah, we knew we couldn't just keep pouring money into it because we had to pay the rents that we had. There was a lot of stuff. The
multiple rents.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is really awesome. So tell the audience the story that you told me before, where it's like, you're working a nanny job. You're working for our friend Jay Linda. We've had him on the show before.
Yeah. Shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Jay. We love Jay.
Yeah.
I prophesied to Jay. I said, man, you're going to have as many Nevada auto centers around Vegas as there are Robertos.
Yeah, more.
Because I'm telling you, and he just, he's moving and shaking. I'm not sure if we could tell everything he's doing, but just say he's opening more locations.
Oh, he is. I think one is on the way. Yeah.
Oh yes, I was talking to him about it just the other day.
Yeah.
Right. So you're working for Jay though.
Yeah, I was.
You're in
yeah.
sales at the auto shop, right? So tell us that story when you guys stepped out and said, "We're going to do this thing full time."
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I was a nanny for it feels like a couple years. Maybe it was just 2 years. My income was not bringing in much. I was working part-time. I was probably making like $200 a week. And Alex was working at an auto shop doing sales. He was probably bringing in like $1,200 a week. So he was covering us financially, not me. And so at that time though, the $200 was kind of like making a difference. Like, it's like, I can't just leave. Like, this is, money is money. Like, this is going to help us when we need it. And so when we started doing Free From Fear, it didn't take much for my income to be covered. Yeah. So we sell a couple shirts. Okay, I'm good. Like, we're good. Thank you, Jesus. So Alex was like, well, I mean, you can leave your job now if you want to. And I said, you do not have to ask me twice. I am on board
She was
with
out
you.
of there.
Yeah.
She was on the phone immediately after.
I was actually really sad because I love the family that I nannied for. It was really just like a connection that I had with them. But it was like, I gotta go. Like, I love you guys. I'll see you around.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I left my job. Alex was still doing working at Nevada Auto Center, and he was always just voicing to me, I feel like if I just put all my time into Free from Fear, like it would grow. Like right now we're going a little bit where we're stagnant, and I was just very fearful of the unknown. Like if you leave your job and we don't do enough sales, what is gonna happen? You know, I don't know, like that just was an unsettling feeling to me. So there was multiple conversations of that, and then this one time I was driving him to work, and he was like, I know what you're gonna say, but just hear me out this one last time. And I knew it was coming. And he was like, I just feel like, I don't know, like if we put our full, like all of our effort and everything we have into Free from Fear, like I know that the Lord would bless it. Like I just know it. And as scared as I was and as fearful as I was, I feel like that conversation was very like from his heart. Like he really was feeling like this is what the Lord had for us. So I put all of my like walls that I had up down, and I was like, okay, well, you are the head of the household, you're my husband, I'm gonna follow you, you're gonna lead the way, and if this is what the Lord has for us, and thank God, like that's amazing. And so he put his 2 weeks in, and since then we've been doing Free from Fear, and the Lord has blessed it tremendously, and we give him all of the glory because we seriously don't know how this happened.
Yeah. Wow. That's
it's
beautiful.
been a journey, for sure.
The biggest leap of faith we've ever had to take.
Definitely.
As a married couple,
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you haven't been married that long to make too many leaps of faith.
Yeah,
You know
we haven't.
So, I mean, I'm glad the first one was, was this. And it was a success, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's awesome, though, because I love the fact that it's like, you know what? I'm going to go all in on something. You know what I mean? I'm going to go all in. I believe in this. I know we both believe in this. And we believe in this so much, we're gonna put everything we have into this. I've lived that way my entire saved life. You know, me and my family, our audience knows our story, how we've gotten out here. But I love to hear other people's stories of faith. Right? Sometimes we can think like, oh, business people don't need faith. You know what I mean? They could do this, they could do that. They're not living by faith. Well, I'm living by faith because I'm in ministry. I'm living by faith because I'm trying to pay my bills, or I'm living faith for this, that, and the other. But no, whenever you're in business, you even need to live by faith too. You know what I mean? You need to say, hey, God, I don't know how it's going to happen. But you've put this in my heart, and so I'm going to trust you that it is going to happen, right? So talk to us a little bit more about that. Stepping out in faith to see the promise of God fulfilled in your life, right? Because, I mean, you told me before, you're like, you know, I wasn't just working at the auto shop and she just was a nanny. You're like, I'm flipping couches. We have a car cleaning company too. You know, we're doing all this stuff. So talk to us about that, stepping out in faith to see the promise fulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, like you said, I was working at the auto shop. I was flipping couches. I think at this point when I was flipping the couches, Angie was...
You were doing nothing.
Yeah, you weren't working. She wasn't working.
I was hanging out with Emily every day.
You weren't doing nothing. But she wasn't working. So I was flipping the couches. Just, you know, Free from Fear started to do better, right? So we started to see, like, I was doing all the marketing and advertising. So we started to see that paying off, and it was doing better, and it was doing better. And then I just, you know, was praying and thought to myself, like, okay, like, we might be at a position where potentially I can try to leave my job too. Right now it's kind of stagnant. Like, we're doing good, but again, we're not putting a lot of time into it because I'm working all day. Angie was hanging out with Emily and stuff like that. And, you know, we just believe, like, I was praying about it a lot, like on my personal time. I know Angie was praying, and we were just like, look, like, we just have to take this leap of faith. You know, we know it's going to work. If it doesn't work, okay, you know, that doesn't mean that God's bad or nothing like that. It's just not our time, right? So we just took that leap of faith, and it paid off. I mean, it just shows how, you know, good God is. Like,
faithful he
we would have
is,
never thought ever that we'd be in a position to where we're able to leave our full-time jobs to pursue like a business idea that we have, and it's been going great ever since.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Free from fear.
Free from fear.
You guys are living the message. There you go. That's awesome. So why clothing? You know what I mean? Out of all, I mean, I understand, you know, like, I had this concept of free from fear, this, that, and the other, but why clothing?
I feel like when I created it, well, I don't feel like I know that the Lord, I actually have it written in my notebook. the words that he was speaking to me when he gave me Free From Fear. And at that time I was 16. I was in a youth group at ICLV. And I feel like he really put on my heart, like, clothing for the youth that is not profanity, that is not sexual images, inappropriate lyrics of songs, like all these things that I saw people in high school wearing. I just wanted to completely steer away from that and give glory to his kingdom. And that is the sole purpose of Free From Fear. It was originally for our youth, because I was in youth and that was just so important to me. But now that I see that so many people of all ages wear Free From Fear, it's for generations. It's for the Lord's children. And so there's no age gap on any, or age cap on our clothing. It's if you love the Lord and you are not afraid of sharing his message and sharing his word and sharing your faith, then Free From Fear is for you. Like, that is exactly what it is. And I think incorporating, like, street style, that's kind of like it's kind of like our brand. Like, when you look at Free From Fear, if you see the front of our shirt, because right now our designs don't have anything on the front, that's in the back. If you see the front of the shirt, you know it's a Free From Fear shirt, because the way it's, like, boxy and, like, the neckline, like, everybody just knows, like, oh, that's a Free From Fear shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I think that our generation really loves that, like, boxy, street style kind of shirt, and so we'll expand eventually, like, different things, different items, but I think it's really fun to see all ages and
I loved it because we were at a conference a couple months ago, and I mean, I see everybody rocking Free From Fear. You know what I mean? Everybody. I'm talking not just the young people who are in the front jumping, hopping, skipping, leaping, backflipping during worship. You know what I mean? But I'm seeing, like, you know, people who are older than me wearing it too, and I'm like, okay, all right, I see what's going on
it's
here.
so awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. You know what I mean? Like, the style of clothes and everything like that. Like, it's cool. I mean, it's awesome. I don't want to sound like the old guy, you know what I mean? Because I'm a whole lot older than you guys, you know what I mean? But, I mean, it's awesome stuff. I think it's amazing. You have shirts, right? You guys have shorts. You guys have
hoodies.
All these, hoodies. I mean, you guys have...
bags.
Bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting ready to do our fall collection.
Transitioning products.
Fall, winter, so we're going to be coming out with a lot of new stuff. So.
Y'all got some beanies in there for you, man?
We want to do hats, beanies, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's actually
no, but we will.
No, it's actually crazy. I was talking to Emily about this. Everyone always comes to me and is like, "Oh my gosh, just saw Free From Fear out and about," and I'm like, I never see anyone that's not, like, my friend or, like, from the church. I never am just out and about and I see someone. And we were out on, like, I think it was Sunday, and we were having lunch, and I was telling Alex, I was like, I just really want today, like, I feel like I'm going to see someone that I don't know, that I've never seen before, in a Free From Fear shirt. And I was like, the Lord knows the true desires of my heart. Like, I really just want to see it so bad. Because everyone always tells me, and I'm like, why don't I see it? And so we're going out and about, and then we go to Target, and there's someone walking into Target with a Free From Fear shirt. And Emily saw them. She was like, oh my gosh, did you see it? And I was like, no. And so we're literally in Target hunting this person down. We're looking at every person. I'm like, where's the shirt?
It sounds weirder
Where's
than it
the
is.
shirt? I'm like, where is it? I need to see it right now. And so we're walking by. And then I look at this girl on my right. And like I said, the front of our shirt doesn't have a design. But I know our shirt. And so I look at her and I was like, that's the shirt. And so I let her walk by. And I look and she's wearing it. And I was like, Lord, you just know my heart so well. And so they were like, are you going to go talk to her? And I was like, is that weird? Like, should I do that? And so I went and I was like, I love your shirt. She was like, thank you so much. And I guess she had seen it on someone else and they shared the website with her and she bought it. And I was like, my husband and I actually own, like, the brand, and we just, like, I've never seen anyone wear it in person, so I'm just, like, fangirling right now. And she was like, oh my gosh. And we just had, like, a really good conversation. But that to say, the Lord knows my heart, and I saw Free From Fear in person on a random person.
That's awesome. Tell me you took a picture with this girl.
I didn't. I wanted to, but I didn't want to be weird. I didn't want to be weird.
Yeah.
Oh, you could be weird. Why not? This is your baby. You know what I mean? My goodness. Next time I see someone with a Free From Fear shirt, I'm going to take a picture.
Yes,
There
please
you go.
send it
Send
to
it,
us.
yeah.
Well, I might be in a church service, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I might
yeah,
just be like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And take it. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So what would you say to people, who, our audience who's watching, who maybe it's not stepping out to start a clothing brand, but maybe it's stepping out to, I don't know, start a business, start a family, start something. What would you guys say to somebody like that?
I would say, obviously, pray about it and seek first His kingdom. I feel like in business, it's really easy to get caught up in like the things that not necessarily are about you, but are so like worldly. And in every decision comes prayer first. And so pray about it, seek first his kingdom. I think we've talked about this. If you're starting a business, for us, tithe is so important. Giving to the house of God is so important to us. It's like number one. Jay actually taught us that.
Jay Lindo taught us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Jay.
He took us out to sushi one time, and he was like, "You want to know the secret?" And I was like, And he was like, "Seek first the kingdom of God."
Yeah, him and Mary, they were like reading us Malachi.
Yeah.
Where it says like, "Test me in this," and we did. And
yeah, and he's faithful.
provided.
He's a faithful God. But yeah, I think that's very important. Just not making it about you, taking leaps of faith when you feel like the Lord is calling you to do that, and having mentors that are in the church that can spiritually lead you and guide you are so important. So yeah, I think that's my advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Jay's, one of my first interactions with Jay, he's like, the whole way I got saved is because Mary Lee told me.
Mary told me.
Mary Lee told me, hey, we're not blessed because you're not tithing. And he's like, so she just took me to church and I started tithing before I was even saved.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah,
right?
I think the only reason they started going to ICLV, well, not the only reason, but one of the reasons is because they just needed a church to tithe to. And Mary Lee said, oh, ICLV's right there, so they went.
Yeah. That's awesome. Alex, what would you say to people? Same question that Angie just answered. What would you say?
Yeah, same thing. I think, obviously, prayer is number one. Like, you want to make sure you're praying about it. You want to make sure that God is leading you in the right direction. Also, too, you want to make sure, like, you're doing your research. Like, you don't want to just start a business that may not be flourishing right now, or you want to start the right business. Yeah, you want to pay attention to the market on the business side of it, and just make sure everything is good on that end. But number one, I mean, God is first, right? You want to make sure you're praying about it. You want to make sure that He lets you know, like, okay, I think this is a business you should start. Hopefully God is speaking to you and giving you some guidance on that end. But that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
For sure.
Get free from fear.
Get free
You know
from
what
fear,
I'm saying?
literally.
Get free from fear.
Yeah. I mean, it's so true, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you're going to do anything of significance in your life,
Yeah.
you have to get rid of the fear, right?
For
You
sure.
have to be like, yo, I use this word. It's called bump. I say bump it.
Bump it.
Bump it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, whenever you're staring at something that's overwhelming for you, bump it. God's got this.
Yeah.
Whenever you're looking at something where you don't have the answer, not because you're ignorant or something like that, but because it's just maybe too big for you. You don't know from A to B to Z to C to Z. You know what I mean? Bump it. If this is what God has really put in my heart to do, I'm going to go for it
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. And I love the fact in your story, like you guys, like we've failed sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've
for sure.
we've
For
tried
sure.
stuff before, and it didn't work. Like
Yeah.
you're like our second collection was a complete flop. You know what I mean?
It was.
And I think sometimes people get paralyzed because they're afraid to fail. They're afraid to step out. Because what if it doesn't work? What if I do this and I look like a fool? What if I do this and I put all my eggs in one basket and it doesn't work? Well, what if you step out and you actually don't fail, but you succeed?
Yeah.
What if you step out and put all your eggs in one basket and the basket multiplies? You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a perspective element in there
Yeah, for sure.
that a lot of people need to grasp, to let go of the fear, to step into faith,
Yeah.
and see what God can do in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love what you
Super
guys are saying. Like, seek first the kingdom, get some mentors, do your
Yeah.
research.
For sure.
It's all very practical stuff. I think whenever you do that, whenever you seek first the kingdom, when you get mentors, when you do research, what it does, it actually diminishes fear
Yeah.
in your life because
sure.
it adds the confidence. Like a mentor lets you know, well, first of all, seeking first the kingdom, it's like, this is the will of the Lord. I'm going to serve people. I'm going to please God.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's going to be a success. You get a mentor. They say, hey, look, I failed over here. And if you just learn from my mistakes, you don't have to fail either.
Exactly.
Boom. It adds the confidence.
Yep.
Then you do your research and you realize, we could do this.
Yeah.
Other people who are not as smart as me, who didn't have as much resources as me, do this. I could do this. So that's incredible. Thanks, guys, for being on the show. If people want to get in more contact with you, learn more about Free From Fear, buy some merch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so our Instagram is Free From Fear Clothing. Our website is freefromfearclothingus.com. And then, we have a marketing business as well, Buzz Marketing.
Yes. And then I guess I'll plug So the Label.
Go ahead.
Emily and I started a clothing brand that is obviously the base is the Lord. It's called Sow the Label, so sowing good seeds. It's more for the girlies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the opposite of Free From Fear in that aspect. But Sow the Label on Instagram and sowthelabel.co on Safari, Google, whatever you use.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll put it all up on the screen.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll have to get you and Emily on the show, too.
Oh my gosh,
you
that
know
would be
what I
so
mean?
much fun.
You've talked about Emily basically half
She's
of
my
the
bestie.
show.
She's literally my bestie. Yeah, I love her.
Right. She should have been here, but
Well,
Yeah.
they're like such big parts of our lives. They're our
For
best
sure.
friends, and we
Yeah.
live 2 seconds away from each other. So
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Community's great, too.
community for
absolutely.
sure.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much
We'll
for
have to have
having
you
us.
back on whenever you launch a new product,
Yeah.
a new
Of course.
business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is really fun doing this. So
Yeah.
thanks for being on the show.
yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
having us.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to watch this. Hey, if you're watching this on Keen 17, would you email us at the email link down below and let us know if you know somebody who you think would be great on the show? We'd love to meet them. We'd love to bring them on because there's amazing things that are happening right here in the Las Vegas Valley. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, would you go ahead and subscribe to the podcast? And as always, if you were watching this on YouTube, subscribe to that YouTube channel too. Come on, help us get the word out. Hey, listen, I love you. I'm so thankful for you. And we'll see you next time right here on Las Vegas United.
Our show is hosted by Pastor Aaron Pino of Overflow Church. To learn more about him and his ministry, please visit overflowchurch.co. The guest this week is Alex and Angie Jimenez. For more information, visit freefromfearclothingus.com. Las Vegas United is produced by CT in Vegas, the Las Vegas location for the Christian Television Network. For more information about CT in Vegas and our show, please visit ctinvegas.com.